Good afternoon. Welcome to GrainTV. My name's Cody Bills. This is Logan Burgess. Today is Thursday, October 31st, Halloween. We had the markets trading lower here on the export sales day, which we've been talking about really for the last week. Yep. Interesting thing, export sales seem to beat analyst expectations, but we traded lower here on the day. Logan, let's turn right over to Fire Tips, see where we closed off. Corn for December trading down 2 cents, beans down 7 1/4, wheat in Chicago trading down 7 1/2 cents, and Kansas City wheat trading off 7 1/4 cents. Logan, how much did we beat analyst expectations, and why did we close on the low side here?
You know, the numbers today reported by the USDA were quite massive for corn and soybeans. Take a look here at this slide. The first column shows what the trade was expecting, and the second column here shows what was actually reported. And you can see, as I said, corn and soybeans well above analyst expectations. Wheat a little bit on the light side there, but really corn and soybeans were the focus of this report. And, you know, I guess to answer your question, Cody, we did have a lot of expectations of very large numbers coming into this report. We had those numbers delivered, and accordingly, the market really didn't seem to be buying on it. I think there's kind of three factors that are influencing that right now. It's kind of a buy the rumor, sell the fact mentality. As we know, during the government shutdown, there was a lot of rumors that the Chinese were heavily in the U.S. corn and soybean market, so some of this might have been baked into price. I think the second thing is that if you dig into these numbers a little bit deeper, for the soybean complex in particular, we had relatively light sales of soy meal, and we had really quite poor sales of soy oil. So I think that that's another thing that took a little bit of the wind out of the sails here today. But maybe the largest factor is just kind of the overarching bearishness in this market right now, as expectations are for a very large crop to be coming out of the fields. Certainly it's good to be seeing these demand side numbers pick up a little bit, but the bottom line is that right now a lot of traders are expecting the USDA to actually have to raise ending stocks in the November 8th WASDE report.
You know, Logan, that last point right there, I think that's the major reason why we ended up drifting lower here today. I think, you know, when we get past production, once we have an idea of what the yields are, then we start focusing on demand, and demand becomes, you know, the driver's seat for price action. I think we haven't quite gotten to that point. Production still seems to be a little, we don't really have a firm production number, is what I'm trying to say. And it looks as though, you know, we're getting some revisions here. Yields are coming out a little bit better than expected. Today we saw the Lynn Group revise their bean production estimates. They raised their yield to 43.1 bushels per acre from 41.2. And not only that, but we also saw the International Grain Council raise their corn and wheat production on the global scale of things. And a lot of that had to do with U.S. production for corn. On a global production, they raised it 5 million metric tons up to 948 million metric tons. The bottom line here is it looks as though people are expecting a larger production, and those very much outstripped the weekly export sales positive news that we got out today.
Yeah, certainly. You know, really the shift of the focus of the grain market is going to shift now to that November 8th WASDE report. One thing that we are going to be getting tomorrow is in numbers from Informa. So certainly a lot of these private analysts are very closely watched. Informa is probably the biggest name out there, so expect that to have some bearing on market direction tomorrow if those numbers come out as a surprise. But certainly kind of the stream of information that we've gotten both from private analysts and from talking to producers here in the office is that a lot of people are relatively surprised with how this soybean crop in particular finished off, and that seems to be weighing on things overall. As I said, though, we'll have to wait to see what Informa comes out with tomorrow for some more direction on this market. In general, that's what we saw here on a Thursday for the grain market. Thanks a lot for joining us on GrainTV. We'll be back here tomorrow to break down those Informa numbers and to wrap up the week.